Hi, my name is Stacy Ann Johnson, and today I am going to be doing a micro teaching lesson on The Theory of Multiple Intelligences by Howard Gardner. This title is also hyperlinked of a video with Howard Gardner explaining why he came up with this theory. Please pause the video and watch his comments. Objectives. Please pause the video and review the objectives. This activity is designed to give you experience with a multiple intelligence test. Pause the video, take the test. When you're done, record your score. Write an analysis of the accuracy of the test based on your personal self-assessment. Include examples to support your points. Then discuss your answers with your peers. What is intelligence? Human intelligence is mental quality that consists of the ability to learn from experience, adapt to new situations, understand and handle abstract concepts, and use knowledge to manipulate one's environment. My students often ask if there are any American psychologists, and I always point them to Gardner. Howard Gardner was born on July 11th, 1943, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he's a developmental psychologist. He is best known for his theories on multiple intelligences. He believed that the conventional concept of one general intelligence was limited and missed out on other intelligences that an individual may possess. Another important thing is Gardner's theory impacted the field of education, where it has inspired teachers and educators to explore new ways of teaching aimed at these different intelligences. Gardner's multiple intelligences are visual spatial intelligence, linguistic verbal intelligence, mathematical intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence, musical intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, and he added naturalistic intelligence later. Naturalistic intelligence is still controversial, and I think he also added a new one, which was existential intelligence, which is even more controversial. But we're just going to stick with these 8 for today. People who are visual and spatial in their intelligence are usually good at visualizing things, good with directions as well as maps, videos, charts, and pictures. I know I am not the visually intelligent person. Let's go to linguistic verbal intelligence. These people are able to use words well, both when speaking and writing. They are typically very good at writing stories, memorizing information, and reading. People who have intrapersonal intelligence are good at being aware of their own emotional states, feelings, and motivation. They tend to enjoy self-reflection and analysis, including daydreaming, exploring relationships with others, and assessing their personal strengths. Naturalistic intelligence is the most recent addition to Gardner's theory and has been met with more resistance than the original 7 intelligences. People who are naturalistic are more in tune with nature, are often interested in nurturing, exploring the environment, and learning about other species. Logical mathematical intelligence. These people are good at reasoning, recognizing patterns, and logically analyzing problems. They tend to think conceptually about numbers, relationships, and patterns. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. These people are good at body movements, performing actions, and physical control. People who are strong in this area tend to have an excellent hand-eye coordination, dexterity, and these people are also usually athletes. Musical intelligence. These people are good at thinking in terms of patterns, rhythms, and sounds. They have a strong appreciation for music and are often good at musical compositions and performances. Interpersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligent people are good at understanding and interacting with others. They are skilled at assessing the emotional motivations, desires, and intentions of those around them. Criticism of Gardner's theory are that it is too broad and his 8 different intelligences are simply talents or personality traits and abilities. There's also an argument that it lacks empirical research. It is now time for you to reflect on what you have learned. Pause the video and answer the following questions, please. Gardner believed in using hands-on activity to get students to be more involved in their education and understand concepts better because they are involved in what they're learning. This activity is based on that theory. Okay, so based on your knowledge of Gardner's intelligence, we will create our own intelligence test based on Gardner's theory. We will collectively examine two of his intelligences. We will use 4 statements or questions per intelligence test for each particular intelligence. You will then be able to create your own intelligence questionnaire working individually or with peers. The first activity that you did gave you some kind of familiarity with an intelligence test. So you are already familiar with how it is phrased. So now we're going to come up with our own instruction, and the instruction for this particular test is going to be: which of the following responses best describe your response to the statements that are made? First, none at all, a little, sometimes, all the time. A numerical scale is going to be needed to grade the test after you have given it and received the responses. So here's our scale. 1 point is equal to 1 point, 2 is equal to 2 points, answer 3 is equal to 3 points, and 4 points. The results in the intelligence test will range from 4 points, which means that a person does not have that particular intelligence, to 16 points, which means that that person is very strong in that type of intelligence being tested. Okay, so let us say that we're testing for visual spatial intelligence. First, we need to determine what visual spatial intelligence is. And according to Gardner, it is good at visualizing things, good with directions, as well as maps, charts, videos, and pictures. So now, once we've established what visual and spatial intelligence is, we have to come up with statements that would test for these characteristics. Normally, I have my students come up with the questions, and here are some of the most common things that they have come up with. Number 1, are you good at putting puzzles together? And then the person would answer none at all, a little, sometimes, or all the time. Number 2, are you good at interpreting pictures, graphs, and charts? Number 3, you enjoy drawing, painting, and visual arts. Number 4, you recognize patterns easily. Okay, so let us continue making our own intelligence tests. Now we're going to be testing for logical mathematical intelligence, and we know that People who have this intelligence are good at reasoning, recognizing patterns, and logically analyzing problems. They tend to think conceptually about numbers, relationships, and patterns. So here are the top 4 statements that my students came up with. And here we go. First one. You are excellent at solving problems. You enjoy thinking about abstract ideas. You like conducting scientific experiments. You are good at solving complex computations. So then you guys would respond to these questions according to if you are none at all or all the time. Go ahead and pat yourselves on the back. You are now officially multiple intelligence test designers. Continue to develop your intelligence tests using the examples that we have done as your guide, and I will allot time for you to continue this during class. Now I'd like to look over the applications for Gardner's theory in the classroom. Gardner's theory was developed to enhance learning in the classroom. He believed that the traditional model of teaching and measuring intelligence was ineffective. Gardner believed that students should be involved in hands-on learning, which means that instruction should be engaging and student-centered. He believed that instruction should take into account the different types of intelligence that students have. I have provided a summary of the important points. Please pause the video and reflect on this summary. Here are a list of the references from the material that I used. Please feel free to go explore these references more deeply.